Monday Night Wars podcast.
November 17th, 1997. Hello and welcome to another edition of the Monday Night Wars. Why do you always laugh? It's the Crown in Cincinnati, Ohio. I am Scott. With me, as always, is Joseph. And let's get into Nitro. This is the go home show for World War II. It's gotta be exciting, right, Joseph? It's gotta be.
It's gotta be exciting, yeah. I mean, there's some interesting moments, I'll give it that.
Okay, well, let's get into it. This is that Rick Rude? Is he here?
Yes, but not immediately. Not immediately.
Okay. What?
At first,
What?
the NWO, like, I'm gonna go right into it. The NWO's music hits,
Get into
Scott
it.
Hall and Kevin Nash come down, and they have new tag team title belts that they have not earned. They just bought them. They are also a different design. This will be the design going forward. It's just going to take a few months before they solidify that, because obviously the Steiners have the real belts. Hall does his survey, then he shouts out Six, who must not be fired yet. Then he calls out Zbyszko. Kevin Nash says the Steiners never beat the Outsiders. They beat Scott Hall and Six, not Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. So they are the true WCW Tag Team Champions. It's delusional, but I do kind of admire it. I think it works. He then tells the Giant that he's Quasimodo and that Nash is sexy and too sweet.
Ooh.
Bischoff then says they have another surprise this week. It's Hogan and Rick Rude. Because this episode of Raw is taped and Nitro is live, Rick Rude will actually be on both programs. It's a notable and completely overrated moment in the Monday Night Wars. They talk about it all the time. It doesn't matter. It doesn't move a fucking needle any direction because Rick Rude has absolutely no momentum behind him. You cannot convince me that this moment is as important as they try to say it is. He wasn't doing anything in DX except for introducing. He doesn't do anything here except for cut a promo where he basically says that those guys all suck. And then that's it. They don't do anything with him. So it doesn't move any needles. But apparently it's important, I guess. Rude then, Rude talks about the rights and wrongs in professional wrestling. He says that HBK is wrong by saying he's champ when he never beat Bret Hart. He calls out Vin Man on robbing Bret Hart. He says that what is right, though, is for Bret Hart to abandon the Titanic and swim to the refuge of the NWO. Then he continues on a pro-NWO rant that will lead to nothing because he was just signed as a name and has zero impact except for the fact that DX gets to move on without him and no longer have his dead weight on the team. I like Rick Rude, to be clear, but he wasn't doing anything. Rick Rude historically is great. What he was doing was useless. Hogan then gloats and says his Sting is stung joke for the 485th time, and then we head to commercial. I gave this a B. I like what Nash and Holland are doing. I do think Rick Rude's promo is good, even though it will lead to nothing for him. And then Hogan is boring, so that's why he doesn't get an A. But it's enjoyable.
Apparently, Rick Rude was on a verbal contract with WWF, and after what happened to the screw job, he left in protest, and that's why he's here. That's really it. I guess that's what makes it kind of big. But as you said, nothing happens with the angle. But what does happen is we get some Nitro girls. And then we get an interview with Mean Gene and Ray Traylor, who is still doing the NWO thing, even though he gets squashed every single time. Joseph, you got a thought on this?
Yeah. Ray Traylor says he wants no help, apparently. He's going to get his ass beat permanently, which he does because the NWO then attack him for reasons. I gave this a D.
Yeah, it's just kind of sad what they're doing to poor Ray Traylor. Hope he goes over back to WWF, becomes a boss man soon, because it's sad. After that, we get Glacier versus Ming. Tell me about it.
This is the counterpart to last week's match that no one asked for. Meng wins with the Tongan death grip, and then the Faces of Fear attack Glacier, only to have Ernest the Cat Miller save him. So this is a thing again, I guess. Then the Faces of Fear beat up Ernest the Cat Miller as well. So what purpose did this serve? It gets an F from me.
WCW Saturday Night. You thought I'd forgotten. I actually remember to do it this time. Wrath, Hugh Morris, Disco Inferno, Scotty Riggs. Who cares? It's not as exciting as it used to be. Although I will say Dean Malenko and Rey Mysterio in action, which does seem interesting. But Saturday Night clearly is not the flagship program that it used to be earlier on, which is honestly why I haven't bringing it up, because it's just not as interesting. It was more the joke that there were better matches on Saturday Night than there were on Nitro. Let's get to our next match, because I believe we just go straight into the next match, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's it. After Saturday Night, we get Mongo versus Alex Wright. Oh, poor Alex.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about it, Joseph. Poor guy.
A boring match sees Mongo DQ himself by repeatedly attacking Alex Wright in the corner beyond a 5 count. I gave this a D. They're trying to make this to be like, look, Mongo's a badass. And I don't hate that by any stretch, but they need it so that way he can feud with Goldberg. And as we said, you've already ruined that feud, so stop trying.
Yeah, this is clearly the gold. This is building up to the Goldberg match at the pay-per-view. We had a good storyline. You ruined the storyline. That's it. But what isn't it is that we got the Nitro girls yet again. They're in some little black and white numbers, and Tony says, "Send me your tapes for the Nitro parties." Lee Marshall, we miss you. Come back. Lionheart, Chris Jericho versus Rey Mysterio Jr. I don't know why I said it in French. The urge came over me. Tell me about it, Joseph.
Jericho and Rey have underrated chemistry, and we see it here with Jericho acting like a powerhouse on Rey and Rey selling it perfectly. Jericho goes for a triple power bomb, but Rey reverses it into a springboard Rana and the win. And Jericho, interestingly of note, is visibly upset. This gets a B+ for me. It's not an immediate turn for Jericho, but we're going to start kind of seeing some Jericho not too happy about some shenanigans stuff going on. Like I said, B+, I enjoyed it. It's probably their match of the night.
Heel Jericho equals ratings is what I say. Then we get the Slim Jim replay, and Larry Zbyszko's talking a lot of crap about Scott Hall, which forces Eric Bischoff to come out and give Larry Zbyszko a piece of his mind. And Joseph, I know you love a good Eric Bischoff promo. Tell me about this one. Why are you rubbing your face?
Bischoff confronts Zbyszko, and he's so up his own ass, it's unbearable. He gets Zbyszko to chase him, only for Larry to get attacked by the NWO. And then Bischoff makes this also about him, and he's like standing on him with his arms like that and everything. And it's just bad. Bischoff, like, look,
Jesus.
look. The Vin Man becoming a character thing only works because what he did behind the scenes was so egregious, and everyone knew that it created an ultra heel. What Bischoff is doing is trying to manufacture heat for himself, and he thinks he's great at it, and he simply isn't. Now, I actually do like Bischoff when he's the Raw general manager, because it's not him making the decisions. He's just shown up to work, and they use his character. But he is putting himself front and center, and I hate that. I absolutely loathe that. Don't like this. It gets a D from me.
Yeah, your point is absolutely well taken. Vince McMahon has to become Mr. McMahon because of the screw job.
Yes.
He has to. It's the only way it works, and it's perfect. Eric has no reason to be the faction head of the NWO, and he never should have been.
Yes.
But we need a palate cleanse, and we're going to palate cleanse into the best match of the night. We got DDP versus Villano 4 with Villano 5, and we get Villano shenanigans, and I love it. Joseph, tell me.
Yeah, DDP wins quickly with a diamond cutter on Viano 5, not 4, because they did the old switcheroo. And then 4 is like, hey, wait a minute. I'm 4. I was the one who was in the match, not 5. You pinned the wrong guy. So DDP just diamond cutters him too. This is quick, but it's fun. I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Great.
It's a B+.
It's great. I loved it. It was so good. After that, I think we just kind of rolled to our next match, right? I'm not seeing anything in my my notes. So we got the WCW Cruiserweight title championship. Eddie Guerrero, the champion, versus Dino Malenko. Tell me about it, Joseph.
Yeah, another very fun Cruiserweight match sees Malenko almost get the Texas Cloverleaf, but Eddie reverses it into an inside cradle. Malenko kicks out and the match continues to a superplex on Malenko. Then Guerrero takes a backdrop superplex in return. Both men get 10 counted for a draw and Eddie retains. So naturally, you'd think we got a draw. We're going to get a rematch at the pay-per-view, right? Wrong. We don't get that match. We do get a rematch, just not this rematch. We get a rematch of Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio again, which I don't hate, but also the storyline is Malenko and Guerrero. Make that the match. Anyways, this gets a B from me. It's very solid.
Or hear me out. Triple threat match.
That'd be cool. That'd be fun.
Yeah. We could fix this. We got the storyline here, but we also, but Ray and Eddie is hot. Throw them all together. We got a triple threat match. After that,
throw it all together. You got yourself a stew.
Woo! Carl Weathers isn't in this. What are you talking about? After that, someone won the Nitro Party Pack thing, and we go to their video. It's a college town. It's not a college thing. It's Georgetown. Yeah. I thought, Georgetown, Kentucky, not the Georgetown. But there you go. Nitro parties. We miss you, Lee Marshall. Come back. WCW World TV title match. And if it sounds like we're moving fast, it's because we are, because Joseph told me that I have unfortunate timing and he needs to go. So we're hurrying through this for you and for him. WCW World TV title, Saturn versus Scotty Riggs. And we get an eye reveal. Oh my God, Scotty's eye. It's horrible, Joseph. Tell me.
Yeah.
Tell me about this match.
Yeah. Billy Kidman says that Raven is letting Sky Riggs have one more chance for Riggs to be set free. Riggs, of course, declines this and he faces Saturn anyways. During the match, Riggs attacks the Flock. Saturn takes advantage of this and beats the hell out of Riggs, finally beating him with the Rings of Saturn. The Flock then attack Riggs until Raven calls them off. This gets a D for me. I don't like what's going on with all this. I understand it. I still don't like it. The Flock kind of sucks.
Speaking of eye-popping entertainment, the Nitro Girls! That was a good segue. You know it was, bro.
I was.
Anyways.
Popping, that's for sure.
Yes, poor Scotty Riggs. Then we got the Steiner brothers and Ted DiBiase, right? They're going to come out and do something, aren't they? Like, I don't know what they were coming to do, but they don't do it.
The match was supposed to be the Steiners versus Vicious and Delicious the WCW tag team titles, but instead, the NWO attacks Steiners mid-entrance, and the match just gets thrown out. Gets a D for me.
Oh, okay. Parker Brothers sponsored this episode, by the way, just so you know. I took some notes.
There you go.
Yeah. And I had more time on this one because I've been rushing kind of lately. I got a lot going on, man.
You're rushing?
WCW. Well, my family does come from Ukraine, although we are Germans. Anyways, WCW US title, Russian Empire at the time. Kurt Hennig versus the Total Package, Lex Luger. Man, Lex has got beef with both sides of this rivalry. Yes. Ric Flair and Kurt Hennig. Tell me about it, Joseph.
A lengthy match sees Nick Patrick knocked out while Hennig attacks Luger with the belt. Hennig hits the Hennigplex, but Patrick, who's now back up, DQs him. Okay, but you didn't see it because you were knocked out. Whatever. Luger attacks Hennig post match, the NWO. Look, it becomes a fucking NWO thing again. Luger's getting attacked. The Giant comes out to save him, and then Hennig runs off. And then we just go from that, which I gave that a D. We go from that right into the Giant versus Scott Hall. That's literally how they do this. Kevin Nash joins commentary. Hall goes after the Giant's hand to eliminate the chokeslam, especially not for just this match, but for World War III. And it's working because his hand is bloodied up. I think they went a little bit too hard on this. With the bloody hand, he hits it into steel steps over and over. Giant comes over, but then the NWO attack Giant, and we get the same ending we've had for the last 18 months. Public Enemy also help for some reason, but they just get beat up and the show closes. I gave this an F. Couldn't stand it.
Again, this isn't the problem with WCW is they do angles that I kind of like.
Yeah.
I kind of like the breaking the Giant's choke slam hand. You and I like it as an angle of he's got it, and this is a rivalry that's being set up to go against Kevin Nash, and then he has to learn how to do a power bomb, and it was like the battle of the power bombs or something. That could be fun.
Yes,
but they don't do it very well. And I do want to go back to the last match, since you just went right through it before I could even give my stunning award-winning commentary, slammy award-winning analysis of these matches. I just wanted to note that, straight shooter Nick Patrick called the match right down the middle like he saw it. Henning very upset with him. Clearly Nick Patrick, he shoves Nick Patrick. Clearly not an NWO guy anymore.
Yeah.
Clearly not. Clearly
absolutely
not an NWO guy anymore. Tune in for Starcade for no particular reason. Patreon, $2 a month. No particular reason. Let's get into Raw now, because we are with Raw at the Civic Complex in Cornwall, Ontario. My God, we're all over Canada. Bret was never going to give up this title because we're going to be in Canada for a friggin' month. Let's get Raw, Joseph. Jim Ross, Jim Cornette, and Ken Shamrock. They got to tell us, because apparently we left the show before we got our stunning conclusion, didn't we, Joseph? There was more to tell last week, and we get it tonight.
Yeah, so I mentioned this last week, but I'll go over it again real quick. The show ends with the match getting thrown out between Triple H and Ken Shamrock, where it continues after that. They say, our cameras were still rolling. Of course they were rolling. You ran out of time. We see that after it went off air, Shamrock pinned HBK, who wasn't even in the match, and Sergeant Slaughter counted to 3, thus proving that Ken Shamrock can beat HBK, even though it wasn't a sanctioned match and it wasn't for anything. That will get talked about later on tonight, but they made sure to let us know about that so that we were prepared for it.
So there you go. And then, you might have already said this, because I got to be straight up with you. I wasn't listening. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I did not say it.
Okay, tell me about it. I was reading ahead of my notes, because I know we're trying to go a little fast. Stone Cold Steve Austin starts off the show for us. Tell me.
This is how our relationship works, guys. He just doesn't listen to me ever. Austin says, Vince McMahon always says anything can happen in the World Wrestling Federation, and you got that right. He heads from the ring to commentary, and he stands on the table. If anybody wants to see Rocky Maivia get his ass whipped, give me a hell yeah. This is the very first give me a hell yeah ever. Rocky, you got your little challenges like you're something special. I know you got your little ass back there watching your TV monitor. So if you really think you're something special, and that you can really come in here and beat the hell out of Stone Cold Steve Austin, then why don't you bring your sorry ass out right now? Bring whoever you want with you, because I got something for you. He then taunts until any of the Nation come out. The Nation eventually do come out. They walk out in full force. However, all the members go down to the ring except for The Rock, who leaves. He goes backstage. He's like, nah, I'm done. D'Lo immediately takes a stunner, and while Rock is fighting the rest of the Nation, while Steve Austin is fighting the rest of the Nation, The Rock runs in and steals the IC title and leaves with it. Is this our criminal element? Who knows?
Oh,
anyways,
this
gets an A- for me. I really enjoyed this.
Vince was listening to the pod and goes, "Oh, they got a point on that. We gotta give him something. I enjoyed all this. Poor D'Lo takes more stunners than I think than anyone so far. The man takes a stunner weekly, it seems like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like this whole segment. This is going to lead to Rock's Stone Cold rivalry. Their first match is already, we've already watched this pay-per-view, obviously, and their first match together, we're like, yeah, They've already got it. It's not quite there. It's not The Rock overselling the stunner and kind of all the things we love. But these two guys working together, they're great. And it's so exciting to see it start, and that we'll see it for 5 years. And it doesn't really ever get boring. You got to caveat it because maybe there's a match here or there that's not the best, but I don't think it ever gets boring. What does get boring is Mark Mero's storyline.
Yes.
Because we got Mark Mero up next versus Jerry Lawler. Why? For 4 minutes and 57 seconds. Tell me about it, Joseph.
Yeah, Sable waves to Butterbean, and this sets off Mark Mero. And can I admit that I actually don't hate this? Like you already committed to the storyline, so go for it. I dig what they're doing here. Mark Mero's giving it his all. What I do hate, however, is that Jerry Lawler is wrestling still. This serves no purpose having him on the roster. Thankfully, they don't build the roster around him like WCW would. Brian Christopher comes down to watch and eventually join commentary. Sable pulls Jerry off of Mark Mero after he gets pile drive, resulting in a clear disqualification. Mero then dick punches Jerry and hits the TKO. It's at this moment that I realize they have put makeup on Sable's eye to resemble a black eye, insinuating that Mark Mero is beating her backstage, and I fucking hate this again. Gets a D for me.
I didn't even notice that, and now I'm upset.
Yes,
I don't like
because he starts berating her because he's like you cost me the match even though he was already clearly going to lose, which is fine. And then they start zooming in, and even Cornette starts making comments about her eye, and I was like, yeah, and it's not good.
Yeah. Let's just move on. Domestic violence, not a great angle, but WWF seems fond of it.
Yes.
Just unfortunately, whether you like it or not, we get the Bret Hart story. Next up, we get the Bret Hart story as told by Vince McMahon.
Yes.
With JR. This is the famous or infamous Bret Screwed Bret interview. Would you say this is the beginning of Mr. McMahon?
Yes,
Joseph?
this is
right.
This is the beginning of the Mr. McMahon character. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So last week you said that they used a Jeff Jarrett segment to smear Bret Hart. I defended it and said they did not use it. It was recorded prior.
You're wrong, but yes.
We argued back and forth about it. This week, that my entire segment title for this is WWF smears Bret Hart. That is what the whole point of this is. We get the video package of Bret Hart leaving the company, and it's made to look like Bret chose to leave, which is absolute bullshit. He did not choose to leave. He wanted to say. JR then, now we've got a sit-down interview with Vin Man. This is a 2-part interview. We're going to get one part now. We're going to get one part towards the end of the show. The part now, I actually thoroughly enjoy. I don't know if I should, but I'll go into it. The part at the end of the show, I don't enjoy. So he asks if Vin Man screwed Bret Hart. Vin Man, who has a black eye with makeup over it to look like it isn't a black eye in a reverse Sable, says that some would say he did, and he knows that Bret would say he did screw him. Right on both counts. People say that, Bret says that. He says that Bret Hart screwed Bret Hart. It's an iconic moment. Everybody knows it. Even my cadence of how I said that is the way Vin Man says it, because everybody knows that promo. JR doesn't let him off the hook, though, saying that he is sure that there is a collective groan from fans all around the world hearing that, and that Vin Man is not taking responsibility. JR asks specifically, what does this mean? Vin Man says his batting average is good on good versus bad decisions, and I would agree with this. Again, 300 is a good batting average. Vin Man's made about 300 good, a 300 career average on good decisions. He calls a time-honored tradition to basically go out on your back. He doesn't say it like that, but that's what he's alluding to go out on your back.
Yeah.
And guess what? He's right. Now, Vin Man absolutely embellishes this, but he is right. I'm sorry, Bret's a bitch. Anyways, JR asks if Bret asked to leave, or did Vin Man ask him to leave? And Vin Man says it was a joint decision. Now, this is a clear lie on Vin Man's part, and it's one that I cannot defend in any sort of way. Bret did not ask to leave. Vin Man told him, we've got this on tape. Can't afford your contract anymore. Whether or not that's true doesn't matter. I can't afford your contract anymore. I need to let you go or have you take a lesser deal. Bret was like, and rightfully so, no, I'm not taking a lesser deal. So this is what happened. Obviously, we got to this point. So this is a lie from Vin Man. He's absolutely lying, saying it was a mutual decision. It wasn't. Bret didn't want to leave. Bret was hoping that they would pay him the same amount and even matching WCW's offer, which was technically less, but not by much. He wanted the same amount, and so that he could stay. They were like, no, they weren't going to. Anyways, back to this. But even though he is lying, Vin Man does give us some truth. Vin Man, for financial reasons, couldn't keep Bret, which he admits to. Bret felt that Shawn was getting his spot. Both of these counts are true. Vin Man even goes into financials and says Bret wasn't a good investment any longer, and he was right. Bret Hart is not marketable. As great as he is in the ring, Bret Hart has zero charisma. So again, you're paying a man. I think they throw out the number 3 million. I don't remember if that number is true because I know he got 2.8 from WCW.
It's 1 million. I think that's the real number is 1.
It might be. But let's say that was true, 3 million, which is absurd. Yeah, it's not covering the cost. Like there is fact behind the fact that he was not paying for himself anymore. Vin Man says he was disappointed in Bret Hart hitting him. This is just dumb. Like, he was going to hit you. You knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Then he goes on for far too long, and we don't really need to queue up this interview. And I thought that this was the only interview of the night. So I was like, well, it went on too long, but whatever. So I gave this a B because I do actually thoroughly enjoy it. I also like JR not letting him off the hook. JR, like, every time he tries to dodge, JR kind of pulls him back and is like, no, answer this question. It works. It also is the start of this character. It also has a completely second interview portion to it that is bad, but we'll get there later on in the night.
Yeah, you mentioned the Bret Hart punching him. The way everyone tells the story is that Vince told him to punch him. He said, Vince basically said, I'll give you one. Like, you deserve it. I'll let you have one. And I don't think Vince expected him to connect because there was a bunch of people in front of him.
Yeah.
And Bret managed to still clock him. Bret claimed it was an uppercut because he's just this cool guy.
Yeah.
It was a right. Everyone says right hook.
Yeah.
Around everybody. But yeah, it's like, come on. Come on. Everyone has a version of this story and no version is the same.
No. But Bret's version is fascinating. His version is just, he is a superhero.
Insane. He floated the whole time and was just the paragon of virtue, which is why I don't believe that one specifically. But anyways, let's get into our next match. We need a palate cleanse. Savio Vega versus Jose Estrada and the New Age Outlaws. Okay, I'm back in. Tell me about it, Joseph.
Yeah. So Los Pericuas, New Age Outlaws, Billy Gunn and Road Dogg have stolen Los Pericuas vests and necklaces and are wearing them down to the ring. So the Pericuas respond by attacking them mid-entrance. This results in a DQ, and Billy and Road Dogg win. We head to commercial, and we get a Shamrock vignette. I gave this a C. It's not perfect, but I like what they're doing with the New Age Outlaws. I like the way that they're getting wins ridiculously. I also like that they keep stealing shit. Like, it makes me laugh every time they do it. So yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, I clocked the match at 44 seconds.
Yeah.
That's what we got. So there you go. And as you mentioned, the Ken Shamrock video package. This is him coming at Shawn, which I think is a good. I think that's a good rivalry for them. I think that works. I like it. We'll see. We'll see if it proves itself to be good. But I like it. What I don't like is our next match, because it's a little people match. Again, don't hate that it's a little people match. I think they're pretty good. I think they're fun. I don't like it because I think Vince is making fun of the Cruiserweight division at WWF by using little people Mexican wrestlers. Max Mini Nova, and Mini Taurus versus El Torito. Love that restaurant. Tarantula and Battalion. Tell me about it. And I will say, Joseph, I know you say I'll call them dwarves. Dwarves are specific kinds of little people. So I say little people just to try and catch all different kinds of little people. There is many different kinds of little people. And I'm just trying to be respectful.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know,
Anyways.
I'm just saying, bro. I think we had a conversation where you're like, people think dwarves is offensive, and people who are dwarves say we don't call us dwarves. We're fine with being dwarves. But apparently, I'm learning so much. There's a specific type of little person that is a dwarf. There are different kinds of little people, and I don't know if these are technically dwarves, so I don't want to offend anybody. So they are little people. I'm just showing how respectful of them I am being, and how not respectful Vince McMahon is being.
Gotcha.
Tell
Oh,
me about
man.
it.
Sunny's a ref in this for some reason.
Yes,
because she is.
always.
We have this match that's going on for like a minute or so, and then all of a sudden the lights go out and Kane's music hits, and I laughed
no.
so hard when that happened. I was looking forward to seeing
no.
little choke slams everywhere.
God, no. Yeah.
The minis, they call them the minis. The minis
Yes.
run behind the commentary table. And I was like, this is so stupid and inappropriate, and I love this. Then Kane comes to the ring, and instead of getting the minis, as they keep calling them, the headbangers come out of nowhere to help, and they break a boombox over Kane's head, who nothings it. He chokeslams Thrasher and then tombstones in, and then he tombstones Mosh as well. Honestly, this was wildly entertaining. I gave this a B, probably for all the wrong reasons, but I wanted some mini choke slams, dude. I wanted them so badly.
This is insane. It was 2 minutes and 48 seconds for the match, for the record. Yeah, and the headbangers coming out and being the defenders of the minis. The whole thing is crazy. The little people, Sonny, the headbangers, Kane, the slapstick comedy of them all huddling behind the commentary table. What the hell is going on WWF Raw? I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess Vince, someone backstage said Kane choke slamming the minis is too far.
Yes.
Someone said that, because that was the original angle. And someone said, no, we can't do that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And the Sunny thing is clearly because she and Max Mini or Mini Nova, one of them, they got a thing going on, and that's apparently an angle there. And so, you know what? Let love be love, bro. Let love be love.
Okay.
Hour number 2 of the War Zone, and DX, they started last week, and now they're gonna start the second half this week. We're flipping it because we know Austin and DX are the hottest things going on, so they're gonna start. They're gonna start one or the other. Tell me about it, Joseph.
Rick Rude introduces DX, and this is obviously the second time we've seen him on the night.
What's he doing here?
HBK wants to make one thing perfectly clear to Ken Shamrock. He says, you didn't beat me. It was not a sanctioned match. He says Shamrock wants respect from HBK and DX. We respect absolutely nobody. He says, you want me to be careful mentioning Bret Hart, but I ran his ass out of WWF. I beat the hell out of his family, so I guess I need to beat the hell out of his friends. And then Triple H calls out Sergeant Slaughter. Slaughter taunts Sean, and Triple H asks, who in the hell do you think you are? We are DX, this is WWF, and we make the rules, not you. Got it? He says, next time you stick your chin in DX's business, it'll be the last thing you do. He says, I hear that Sergeant Slaughter, your wife is not too thrilled with your privates. Get it? Because Sergeant, privates. Anyways, if you stick your nose in our business, I'm going to swing by and show her what standing at attention is all about. So Slaughter punches Triple H, and DX attack him with Triple H hitting his pedigree on Slaughter. They then drape toilet paper over him in the shape of an X, and Cornette is clearly unamused on commentary. Again, Cornette, you're the heel. Keep your crap out of it. You have to be a heel. This gets a B for me. It's entertaining, and it actually leads to a surprisingly entertaining match at the pay-per-view.
Yeah, you'd think Cornette would love this. Also, are they saying that Sergeant Slaughter has a small pepe?
That's what they're saying, yeah.
Oh my God. This is outrageous.
Yes, absolutely.
They are not. As JR tells us in this segment, DX are not role models. It's just appalling. I'm appalled.
Yeah.
After that, we get our WWF Light Heavyweight Title Tournament quarterfinal match with Scott Taylor versus Eric Shelley, who for 5 minutes and 27 seconds, he doesn't even have a blue link on the Wikipedia. Tell me about it, Joseph.
Wow. Jeff Jarrett is on the phone griping over the promotion of him as a wrestler, but he says he will debut next Monday night. And then Scott Taylor wins with a diving DDT. This is fine. It's honestly an entertaining match. We get some Jeff Jarrett stuff. Okay, I give it a B.
And then we get Mark Mero and Sable. They come storming out because they want an interview. They don't have an interview. They want one.
Mm-hmm.
And Mark Mero wants to tell us that apparently Butterbean is stalking Sable or something, or that's the accusation.
Yeah.
Joseph, explain this to me. I don't know. I don't like it.
He calls out Butterbean for stalking his woman, his property. That's how he describes her. Not how I describe
Dubai,
her,
bro.
To be clear, it's how he describes her. He taunts Butterbean, who comes out and pushes Mero down, and officials have to separate them. This gets a C for me. I know where they're going. This is going to lead to a match. The match exists. They really want to do cross promotional stuff. They want Mike Tyson. They're getting Butterbean, but eventually they'll get Mike Tyson, and we'll get there.
It's probably for the best they don't get Mike Tyson, because Mike Tyson would forget this was not for real and kill Mark Mero.
Yes.
So I think Butterbean at least understands the story. He understands the assignment, right? Part 2 of the Bret Hart story as told by Vince McMahon. Joseph, tell me about part 2.
I actually have no notes on this other than to say this is too much. It has gone on too far. It's now just Vince blowing up smoke up his own ass. He's basically trying to save face. Vince still thinks at this point that Vince is a good guy, like in the eyes of the audience. So he's trying to do. He does not realize that he has turned heel and just accept it. He will, but he hasn't realized that yet. I gave this a D. I liked the first segment, did not like this second segment.
And it's kind of weird. Obviously, this is pre-recorded. At least I assume it's pre-recorded. And so we had last week, when DX comes out at the beginning of last week, Rick Rude introduces Shawn Michaels as the new heavyweight champion. The crowd is chanting bullshit, right? Like, you're not the good guys in this, clearly. Come on. Like, you don't need me to tell you that. Anyways, we got Vader versus Goldust, or do we? Tell me, Joseph. Tell me.
Yeah, Goldust arrives in a satin shirt and pantyhose. He says he can't wrestle and isn't medically cleared as his arm is in a sling. Vader is distracted, and then Goldust pulls out a hammer and clocks Vader. So we don't get a match. That's all this is. It gets a D for me.
Yeah. This again, the decline of Goldust. It's sad to see. Sergeant Slaughter comes out. He's alive, and he's got a message for DX. He kind of mad, Joseph.
A little bit.
Tell me.
Slaughter talks about taking the job and that he has done well at his job, even if people didn't agree with him. He calls out DX and specifically Triple H. He says that they crossed the line and he got personal. He tells him that on December 7th, he will face Triple H one-on-one in what is, again, a surprisingly decent match. I gave this a B.
Yeah. He's going to handle this for himself. This is a pee-pee measuring match. They both pull out their pee-pees and they measure it. And that's how the match is won. We loved it. No, I'm just kidding. That's not the match, but it is a good match. It is a good match between the two. I also agree with Sergeant Slaughter that I think he's been a very good commissioner. I like it. When he says things, they happen. Take note, WCW. And that leads us to our main event. And I love it. I don't know why. I don't know why this is happening, but I love it. Rocky Maivia versus Dude Love. You put these two guys together. I don't care if it doesn't make sense. 4 minutes, 22 seconds. Tell me.
The Rock is officially The Rock here. He says that this is a non-title match and that The Rock doesn't steal. He says when he was IC champ, all the people made it clear that The Rock was the best IC champ ever. The Rock has swagger here, and it is great. This is the exact kind of match I want to watch on Raw, by the way, with these two competitors. Eventually, the Nation attack Dude Love and cause the disqualification. Austin runs in to help Dude Love. They do have history. We know that. And The Rock runs away with the belt. Austin stunners Kama. And like that, the dynamic has shifted. The Nation no longer revolves around Farouk. They revolve around The Rock. This gets a B+ for me. This is a career-defining moment for The Rock, even though I don't think he realizes it at the moment.
We got some good storytelling here, man. Yeah, it's really good. The Rock, The Rock is leaning into that he's the real IC champ. He even starts calling himself pretty soon the People's Champ, which will be something that defines his career. It's all starting to click for The Rock. That I think, honestly, as we've said, this show, doing this every week, multiple episodes a week, is a lot of work. It's tiring. But one of the fun things, beyond just doing this with you, because I enjoy spending time with you, even though you don't enjoy time with me because you have to leave, is that it's fun watching the pieces start to come together. The little moments that, if we were watching in 1997, we'd have no idea. But the first time he calls himself the People's Champ, the first time he calls himself The Rock, the first time Stone Cold says bottom line or something like that, we're like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
That's fun. That's fun to watch. Yeah. It's fun to see The Rock slowly become The Rock. But who won? Who won this week, Joseph?
I think this one's obvious. This one is obvious. Yeah. Last week was really close because WWF didn't even really put on a great show. They just had some good moments that we really liked. This one's a pretty consistently top to bottom fun show, and I think this one is clearly Raw.
I'm quickly flipping back and forth looking at the cards because I don't, I immediately eject everything we've talked about out of my mind because I got to fill it with more of this in a couple of days. And so I've already forgotten what happened on Nitro. Yeah, it's Raw. I'm sorry. And I hate to say it. I say it every time. I keep giving it to Raw. And I hate to say it because Nitro was my childhood. I loved Nitro. And watching it as an adult, I go, this kind of sucks.
Yeah. It's brutal.
Yeah, it's rough. Anyways, everyone still disagrees with us. Nitro is still winning huge.
Yes.
They're going to continue to win until April of next year.
Yes.
April, May, something like that. So just keep that in mind, even though we're going to give it to Raw probably every show because they've got better storylines. We're wrong. Nitro is the hottest product on television. But we're right. It's the children that are wrong.
Absolutely.
Anyways, I think that does it. You got anything more to add?
Bye, guys.
Bye.